Are you looking for actionable 420 tips for your cannabis business operations and tired of seeing all these generic tips and tricks out there? Well, I got you. Every year, at least one cannabis point-of-sale company out there slows down or worst case scenario, crashes altogether. 420 is hard on point of sales and something they prepare for months in advance. I know because I was a compliance officer for one of the leading cannabis point-of-sale companies out there. In the past, when this happens, dispensaries are forced into a chaotic situation, requiring them to think fast, adapt, and unfortunately, not be prepared on how to handle taxes, purchase limits, stock levels, and managing batches, which, as you know, if you use metrc, is also tied to your metrc package tags, right? Which then also translate into how you transact and report those consumer sales transactions into metrc, which is why you should always have something called a crash kit. Essentially, this is a backed up contingency plan to track sales, coupons, and those metrc package tags, and stay within your purchase limit so that way you don't get out of compliance and oversell to a customer. And even in dire situations, you may even need to switch to cash-only transactions. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you on the big day, but we gotta prepare for worst-case scenario always on your busiest day of the year. So let's break down what's in this crash kit. The contingency plan essentially includes a written procedure, an Excel template that's pre-populated with formulas so that way you know your product name, your batches, your cost, your price. I also highly suggest that you have training a week before the sales begin for the big holiday. And even better, if you have the time, create a short mini video so that way your team can have something to reference when shit just hits the fan and you have to do something about it, and your team needs a refresher on how to use your crash kit. And being proactive about this means that your store can stay operational during the busiest time of the year. And you are proactively getting your metric data together, so making staying on top of compliance at the end of the day, if or when your point of sale fails you, you're not spending hundreds of hours auditing your inventory and trying to get those sales transactions back into metrc by using pen and paper. If you use this crash kit and have a template and can capture all of your information that way, then everything becomes a lot easier and all you have to do is some formatting and then get it back into metrc. My next big tip for you is not so much on the compliance side, but more on the streamlining operation side. Usually during the 420 holiday, you are running a ton of promotions all at once. And sometimes this might be X% off, a BOGO, or buy one, get one free type of option if your state permits it, or some sort of variety pack option, which might include different types of product types, a hash pin or a pipe, and of course, your cannabis. And sometimes with your point of sales might not have the option to do variety packs. And so then you start stacking coupons on top of each other to be able to accommodate this. It gets super hectic. And if your store is one of these stores that has very strict coupon policies where you can't stack coupons on top of each other, but your point of sale again might allow you, these are all things that your bud tenders need to know to have a successful 420. So this is where a coupon matrix will come in handy, which is a handout of the promotions that you are going to be running with the coupon code and a barcode on that sheet of paper. So that way they can just use a barcode scan gun to scan in that barcode. Again, this is going to be helpful for your crash kit in case of shit just goes down and you can't use your point of sale anymore. But of course, you still want to do these promotions and you want to track what your margins are for cost of goods and what you're selling. And then of course, taxes on top of that. So having a coupon matrix and a handout for your bud tenders to be able to access anytime will be extremely helpful for streamlining your cannabis business operations during the holiday. Look, we're just like a week away from 420, and in my operation days, 420 planning started January 1st. That's right, in January. Insane, right? Which resulted in my stores having the most streamlined 420 they had ever experienced in their cannabis career. And that was coming from a lot of store managers that have 10 plus years in the industry. And so let's break down how I did this. So after your 420, if you're kind of scratching your head thinking, oh, that wasn't as great of a 420 as I was hoping, then take these tips with you for the next year so that way you can start preparing and having the most streamlined and profitable 420 that you can experience to date. So let's break down my proven framework that has worked across 8 different retail locations. First, I looked at each individual store to determine what product types sold the best in each store. You know, most of the time, flower does really well and it's your number 1 selling category. Then there might be edibles and vapes. I really took a look at each store to determine what would be the best promotions for each one of those stores. I still wanted a standardized promotion across all of my retail locations, but I wanted to take this into consideration on my busiest store and what the best products were or the most high volume sales transactions were by product type within each store. Next, I considered the demographic. Specifically, I looked at residents or loyal customers that come in all the time. And then I also looked at the tourists coming in for 420. Usually they might be coming in for like a show or coming in specifically for the holiday in an adult use legalized state so that way they can celebrate 420, right? I then came up with a game plan on how to promote these products to our local customers who, you know, people that live in an adult use legalized state, they may not want to be around your store during the 420 rush. So how about we accommodate them the week before 420 so that way we can still give them a promotion, but they don't have to come in when it's all crazy and busy in the store and wait 45 minutes to an hour potentially to buy their products. And what I would do here is if essentially they had a state, I'm here in Colorado, so if they had a Colorado state ID, then they received a special promotion the week before 420. Then, of course, we would create special 420 packages for the week of 420. And these special products, I really specialize in variety packs. I took into account how are they going to be consuming. Maybe they want some hash and they want a hash pin bundle. Or maybe they need joints or a pipe with their cannabis. I looked at different variety packs so that way I could ensure that they had all the tools that they needed to consume, no matter which method they would like to consume. In addition to these types of variety pack promotions, I also did something called a recovery kit. So specifically, I was looking for individuals who might be coming in for the holiday, they might be tourists, and what happens if they overconsume? Especially here in Denver, because of our altitude, you can have very extreme effects when it comes to like alcohol and cannabis. And so we also created a high CBD option for a recovery kit, just in case if someone consumes a little bit too much cannabis. So after I got my game plan together, I started to lay out the expectations for each one of my stores. So specifically, 1, how much inventory do I expect the store to have? On average, I added about a 20 to 30% increase in their purchasing options about 30 to 45 days in advance before 420. Essentially, my expectation was by April 1st, they had all of their 420 inventory. And the reason for this is so that way, the week before 420 or even 2 weeks before 420, especially if you're running a local promotion like I just went over, then you're not stressing about doing all these inventory intakes during your busiest time because overall that will slow down operations and the number one focus during this time should be on your customers. So what I would expect is I would give them an entire list of what I expect their par levels or their inventory levels to be by specific SKU and or product type within a brand. And then I would require them to have all of that inventory in their facility or in their store by April 1st. Again, just to cut down on the shipment intakes during the holiday. Next, about the beginning of March, I would start working on the coupons. So I would build those out in each point of sale. I would write out maybe an SOP on how to use them, your policy on like how to stack them, how not to stack them, how to use them. And of course, build out that coupon matrix with your barcodes on a sheet of paper so that way they can just scan the barcodes into the point of sale so that way you have the coupon codes applied directly. From there, I would also do a training with my team. And so that would happen about the end of March. And then if I had enough time, I would of course make a really short video on how to use your coupons. Again, that contingency plan, just everything that they need to know to have a successful 420. And I wish you a successful, streamlined, and profitable 420 for this year. But if you get into a messy situation and need a metric cleanup after your holiday, then go ahead and click the button below to register for my free live webinar on how to clean up your metric after the holiday. Have a good one.